Alright guys, this is Ross with my WWE Survivor Series 2014 review. This pay-per-view to me was pretty average. I thought that when things were done well, they were very good and I really enjoyed them. However, a lot of time was wasted on this show and a lot of the matches ended in pretty poor ways. A lot, meaning probably one. But anyway, let's just go over the pre-show. I will not be discussing segments in between the matches. I will only be discussing the matches themselves and giving them my grade. Also, I would like to mention that Roman Reigns took place in an interview and he said that he will be back this time next month, so just after TLC, so just in time for the Royal Rumble. Yeah. So we'll kick off with the pre-show. Fandango takes on Justin Gabriel. Fandango with his new Latin gimmick, new music, new everything, new woman with Rosa Mendes. 3 minutes long, nothing special, no one did anything wrong. Fandango wins, 2 stars, let's get over it. Fandango wins with a leg drop, so it's nothing new, and they did show it on the show, him doing a leg drop, but I was just thinking, we've seen it enough times, we don't need to see it again. We know how impressive it is. Second match on the pre-show. They've started doing 2 matches on the pre-show. Swagger versus Cesaro. We've seen this match quite a lot this year, and again, this was probably one of the worst entries actually. 2.25 star I gave it. Swagger wins, Patriot Lock. Cesaro's just being hammered down the card. For someone who was like turning to the Paul Heyman guy, and we all thought he'd be WWE whatever champion by like maybe next year. Now, I don't think he'll get it for a very long time, which does annoy me, but, you know, I'm not the WWE, I don't pick who wins. If my voice could be heard, he would be one of the top guys in the company at the moment. Obviously, my small voice isn't the only, my voice isn't the only one that has an effect on the WWE's booking. Other people believe the same as me, but WWE will do what the WWE wants, and they will promote who they want to promote. So anyway, Swagger beats Cesaro, Patriot Lock, 2.25 stars, not bad. So if we get to the first match on the show, this was the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Titles match between the Usos, Los Matadors, Golden Stardust, and Damien Mizdow and The Miz. Solid match, tag team spots that are pretty usual for these sort of matches. Top rope moves, whether you like 2 or 3 stacked. This time they did like 2 stacked back suplexes, which was looking weird, and I can't remember which one of the Los Matadors it was, but his left foot looked really weird on the ropes, but apparently one of them did just come back from an injury, so I think that might have been the reason, but it did look weird, it looked like it was going to slip. They did a few spots, the obvious ones where the dude dives outside of the ring, onto, one another, just the obvious stuff, and in the end, a surprise to me, I picked Golden Stardust in my predictions to retain. Surprise was that Damien Mizdow and The Miz came out with the tag titles. Now, I'm happy for Mizdow, but I don't think he'll be holding the belt very long if they're on about breaking up the duo. So, in the end, his first title run is pretty lackluster. I think the Ascension will probably come up and take the belts off them. I can't see anyone else on the roster at the moment taking them. Maybe they'll just give them back to Golden Stardust. They haven't really had that long of a reign, to me. I definitely think the reign should last longer. But anyway, I gave the match 3 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Could have been better. Could have been like the one at WrestleMania 30 or TLC 2013. But for what it was good and enjoyable. And the ending was a big payoff and the crowd loved it. And JBL referenced Papa Shango, who, does anyone remember Papa Shango? I'm younger, so I don't have a lot of experience, but I know Papa Shango was the godfather, and he was Kama as well. Kama was a pretty bad gimmick on it. So the next match was Team Page versus Team Fox, 4-on-4 traditional Survivor Series tag team match. Team Page consisted of Paige, Cameron, Layla, and Summer Rae. Team Fox consisted of Alicia Fox, Emma, Natalya, and Naomi. Now, I didn't expect this match to end as it did, but I honestly didn't care, so it didn't bother me. Team Fox, clean sweep over Team Page. First Cameron was eliminated by Naomi. Then Layla was eliminated by Alicia Fox. Then Summer Rae was eliminated by Emma. Then Paige was eliminated by Naomi with this pretty cool modified DDT where she like wraps the legs around the head and like slams her head into the mat. It was quite a cool move. I actually thought it was really good. Naomi is a really good athlete. I just think she needs to work on her wrestling skills. And as a character, you know, none of the divas are particularly strong as a character. But, you know, I mean, AJ was a good one, and Paige was a good one. So, we'll see where we can go from there. I gave the match 1 1/4 star. I think the divas didn't do anything wrong. Summer Rae was rather scared. She seemed to be shouting a lot during the match. Any other big moments? No, not really. Natalya didn't do much. She didn't get a pinfall. Tyson Kidd was at ringside. He didn't need to be there. He was just sort of hogging the spotlight from the girls, if I'm honest. But Tyson Kidd should be coming up to the main roster. Oh, he is on the main roster, isn't he, now? So that's awesome. I really like Tyson Kidd. Overall, I gave the match 1 1/4 star. You know, it was nothing special. It was 14 minutes, though, so I would skip it. It's 14 minutes, and you don't really want to... You go to the toilet and you come back and it's like, oh, there's like 10 minutes left. So after that, we had Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose in a match that wasn't built up particularly well. And I said this in my predictions video, that I didn't know which way it would go. I predicted that Dean Ambrose would win, and I was wrong. Bray Wyatt gets the victory. I'm not doing very well in predictions so far. Bray Wyatt with the victory. However, he won via disqualification. And what this showed is, do you remember WrestleMania 30 when Bray Wyatt was in the ring and he gave Cena a cheer and Cena was like, to Cena, hit me, and Cena didn't? Well, Ambrose hit him. So I was like, right, so are you turning Ambrose heel? But then again, everyone was loving it. And Ambrose hit him with a chair, he put him through a table, threw tables in the ring, threw a ladder in the ring. So, and they actually did announce later in the night that TLC, so they've already announced the match for TLC, but there are only 3 weeks, so that's a good idea to me. TLC will be Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose in their TLC match, which makes me think, what, is that going to be the main event? That's a great main event, I'd really enjoy it. But overall, I didn't like the finish. I don't think it helped anyone. It progressed the story and gives us another match, but it doesn't help anyone. This doesn't make Ambrose look good, and this doesn't really make Bray look good to get clobbered. Bray was destroyed. He was put through a table, he was hit with chairs. Chairs were thrown out. There was 10 or 15 chairs in the ring. It looked so weird. And then Ambrose climbed that big ladder, and I was like, are you going to jump on all those? And Ambrose brought a table in the ring, but didn't set it up for some reason. That was strange. But overall, I gave the match a 3 1/4. It was good. I just didn't like the finish. Now we have more filler. So this was the reason they didn't announce these matches, because they knew when we got to it we wouldn't want to watch the matches. Adam Rose and the Bunny versus Slater Gator, which is Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil. So they took Titus and Heath out of teams and then just put them together. As cool as they kind of are, they're kind of an interesting duo. They won't get anywhere. Adam Rose and the Bunny pick up the victory, with the Bunny pinning Heath Slater in 3 minutes. Nothing special, and gave it a star. Adam Rose was annoyed. The Bunny did the fall off the ropes as well. But yeah, I gave it a star. It wasn't too spectacular, but again, they didn't do anything wrong. But Adam Rose's gimmick just kind of bores me. I don't think he's going to get anywhere with it. I preferred Leo Kruger. And I always liked Heath Slater. I actually think he's kind of underused. Getting to the end of the card now, and we got to the Divas Championship match. And so this was AJ Lee versus Nikki Bella. And one of the craziest things happened in this match. Do you remember back to WrestleMania 28 when AJ Lee kissed Daniel Bryan before his match, and then Daniel Bryan lost the world title in 18 seconds? Well, it was kind of ironic here that Brie Bella kissed AJ Lee on the lips, which I'm sure for the men out there was brilliant, if that's what you're into. Brie Bella kissed AJ on the lips, like that, and then AJ jumped back, and Nikki gave her this huge freaking forearm, and Nikki gives these ferocious forearms. When I played WWE games, I always tried to give them, because they're really cool. Nikki gave this forearm, and then gave the rack attack, and that was it. It was 33 seconds. I was like, 33 seconds, AJ lost the title, which for me probably shows that she might be leaving, because they wanted to throw her out like, you've just CM Punk over us. Is that it? I mean, she's married, so she has an obligation to him, which is understandable, but she does have a job. So I wouldn't have left the WWE if I was in her shoes, but I'm not in her shoes. But yeah, 33 seconds. Now, while the match was only 33 seconds, it was surprisingly enjoyable, and my grade on here is only half a star, but I actually thought about it, and I'm thinking of boosting it to like 2 stars, because it surprised me. I knew Nikki was going to win, but I didn't know how convincing it would be. This showed Nikki as a dominant force. And another thing after the match was Bree smiling. And I think that's probably because, one, Nikki's got the belt, and now Bree can go after Nikki for the belt, which she'll probably win it like Royal Rumble or something. Or because she's like following Nikki now? Nah, that won't happen. So yeah, I gave the match 2 stars in the end. I changed it from my original rating. Surprisingly enjoyable. If you actually watch the pay-per-view, watch that match, because it will surprise you. Plus the forearm is ferocious. So now we're on to the main event. And this, I was on the verge of crying during this main event right at the end. So let me just go over briefly what happened. So Team Authority versus Team Cena. Team Authority, Rollins, Kane, Henry, Harper and Rusev. Team Cena, Ziggler, Big Show, Ryback and Rowan. Now my preferred way for this to end, originally I said that Ryback and Cena would be the last 2. I preferred it if Ryback and Ziggler. In the end though, as a Dolph Ziggler fan, you know, since he's been there, Dolph Ziggler is my favourite superstar in the WWE, and he has been for a very long time. Dolph Ziggler is this guy that I've always wanted to get a push, and he never did. Dolph Ziggler is just what I want Dolph Ziggler to be world champion, and I want him to have a long reign. His reign in 2013, I loved it. I loved every second of it, but it was incredibly short, and he had a concussion for like 1 month. So that kind of gives away the ending, doesn't it? So let me just run down the elimination. So about 50 seconds in, Mark Henry's getting ready to fight Big Show. He runs into Big Show, knockout punch. Henry's eliminated. It's 5-on-4. Nice start. I knew Henry would be eliminated first. Next up was probably the most shocking act of the night. Ryback was eliminated by who was he eliminated by? Rusev? He was eliminated by Rusev. He was curb stomped and super kicked. And I watched it this morning and I was like, right, so you've built him up for 4 weeks and all his momentum's gone. And my thought was, oh, well wait a minute, Roman Reigns has said he's returning. I think that Ryback was going to take Reigns' place at WrestleMania because Reigns might not have been ready. But now Reigns has said he's ready, they've just like squashed Ryback into the ground and now just like go back to mid-card and he'll be gone forever. Doesn't bother me, I think I prefer Reigns. His mic work still needs work there. So Ryback was eliminated. The shock factor in this match was awesome, and that's what I loved. And the next bit was even more shocking. We knew that Rusev couldn't be pinned or submitted, so instead they opted for count out. They opted for a count out. Rusev went for a splash to Ziggler through the announce table. Ziggler moved, Rusev went through the table, Ziggler got in the ring, Rusev's counted out, 10 count. 4 and 3. So that was well done. I think the best thing they could have done there for Rusev probably would have been a count out. The DQ probably wouldn't have helped him. Maybe would have made him look like a beast, but at least the table spot does make him look quite impressive. So after that, the next elimination was Eric Rowan, and he was eliminated by Harper after a few people interfered, Rollins and Kane, and Rowan hits a big discus clothesline, which I really like as a move. However, I don't think he hits it as cleanly as he would probably like. However, it's still an awesome clothesline. I always think of JBL's clothesline when I see the discus. I just think I prefer the discus. So yeah, Rowan was eliminated, 3 on 3. Then, when I was talking originally about heel turns, my suspicions were Ryback's too obvious, Rowan and Ziggler were the 2 that would shock us. Big Show was sort of in the middle. Like, it wouldn't really shock me, but I don't really want it. Like, you know. So Big Show turns heel on Cena. So he picks up Cena, Ziggler's outside the ring, he knocks out Cena, which I was like, oh, dude. Cena had already been curb stomped. And, Big Show picks him up, knocks him out, and then Rollins pins Cena. So I was like, so it's Ziggler and Big Show against Harper, Rollins and Kane. Now, Big Show walks out after shaking Triple H's hand, and then Ziggler just puts in one of the best performances of his entire career. Ziggler fights, and he fights, and he fights. He pins Kane off a zigzag, he pins Harper off a sort of roll-up, and then it's down to Ziggler and Rollins, and Ziggler keeps hitting zigzags on Rollins, and he hits one, and Triple H pulls out the referee and beats him up, and hits another, and Triple H pulls out the referee and beats him up, and then Triple H goes after Ziggler and gives him a pedigree, and he rolls Rollins on top. And then the Crow music hits, and at this point, the spoilers had been out for a week, so nobody was surprised. This was the least surprising thing of the entire pay-per-view. Miz and Mizdow winning the titles was more surprising. So obviously Sting comes out, no back, which was weird. Sting walks out to the new Crazy Crow music, and the stare down with Triple H was phenomenal. This was the first time Sting had ever appeared at a WWE pay-per-view, I think. So that was amazing. As someone who doesn't have much knowledge on Sting, I've seen a lot of TNA Sting, and I really enjoyed him. But he's got to be pretty old though now. So yeah, it was awesome to see Sting in WWE. So Triple H goes to throw a right hand, Sting counters, Scorpion Death Drop. That was awesome to see Sting hit Scorpion Death Drop in WWE. That moment with Triple H will probably be replayed for a long time to come. It's not as synonymous as say Rock and Hogan, but it's still pretty cool. So then Sting rolls Ziggler on top of Rollins, and I first thought it was Rollins' feet are under the ropes, and I still think they were. So I think they could use that against Team Cena, but Sting rolls Ziggler on top of Rollins. The referee comes in and counts the 3. And I swear to God I was nearly crying, because I thought to myself, finally, like The Rock, finally they are running with Dolph Ziggler. And this, I think, cemented Dolph Ziggler. And straight after it, they said that was one of the biggest performances in Dolph Ziggler's career. And I was like, that's the best performance I think Dolph Ziggler's ever done in WWE. I think Payback 2013 was very important, but I think this one, because he won, I think it might be slightly more important. This, to me, could be the start of a new Dolph Ziggler. And as someone who's always liked Dolph Ziggler, I love his gimmick, and as a face, he's awesome. The hug from Cena after the match as well just showed me that they are going to run with Dolph Ziggler. And I'm so happy. I don't know where they're going to go though, because for me, TLC will be an important pay-per-view. What are they going to do with Rollins, Cena, Orton's back, and Ziggler? I believe that, Rollins and Ziggler for the Money in the Bank it'll probably be Rollins and Orton for the Money in the Bank in a ladder match would be great, but I don't really have much interest in face Orton anymore. And then my question is, what are they going to do with Ziggler and Cena, and how will Sting fit into the mix? Sting, for me, probably won't wrestle much. He'll probably do a pay-per-view twice, and he'll probably do WrestleMania 31 and maybe Royal Rumble. But I don't think he'll be wrestling often. As for Cena and Ziggler, I believe Ziggler could go for the IC title again, but because of this victory, I think he's already above it. I thought he was above it originally. And Cena, I have no idea. He's done. He's done all he can do this year. Well, I think Lesnar's not scheduled to be here until Royal Rumble. So, what is Cena going to do? Put something in the comments if you have an idea for Cena, because I really don't. So, I gave the match a 4.5 star. I have not been on the edge of my seat, for a match like this in a long time, and the stakes just felt high. The shock eliminations, the way it was done, and the ending. The ending was emotional. I haven't been emotional like that for about 5 years, and it really struck me hard. My final score for Survivor Series was... Now, I had to think about this logically, and I thought that while there were some pretty horrible things, the main event carries the show. I give it maybe a 6 out of 10, and I say watch it for the main event, for the shock of the Divas title match, for the opening match, and for Bray Wyatt and Ambrose, who put on a very entertaining show. So, this has been my review of Survivor Series 2014. I can't wait for Raw tonight, and I just want to see what they do with Ziggler. So that's it. If you got anything, put it in the comments.